Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Awkward and welcome to the honest collective collection of my family, the fourth interview. We are going to talk to my dad, a retired elementary school teacher and the guide, Sigurður Lyngdal. Welcome.
Thank you.
Hello and good morning. We are here in my dad and mom's home. There is still weather outside. There's evening time and there's a little bit of snow. And tomorrow is the New Year's Eve in Iceland. And I'm going to talk to my dad. My favorite dad. My only dad.
Of all the 10 you have, I'm the favorite.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're the favorite one. Yeah, because I have also dad in my job and I have a dad in different places. I'm gonna talk with him about memories towards his comic collection. And yeah, and we got some lot of comics. When did you start collecting comics?
Well, I think I started when I was very young in Iceland, in Reykjavík, where I'm born and raised. We had very few movie theaters when I was young. About 3, 4, maybe 4 or 5 of them. One of them was a leftover from the American Army that had been here during the war. And in 2 of these movie theaters, they had movies for kids on Sundays at 3 o'clock. And we called them 3 o'clock movies. And usually about an hour before the show started, young boys would meet up with the comics books,
Yes.
usually American ones, and trade.
Trade. Okay.
Yeah, we had of course we had at that time it was more Superman, like this, and all kinds of other ones, and you could trade in one for another one, or just all kinds. Usually some were more valuable than the other ones, and so you could trade. I remember once I had I took some with me to the movies, and I met a guy who was a little older than me, maybe 2 or 3 years older, and he swept, and I didn't think he just had one whole comic on top and one comic book on the bottom. The other ones were just paper covers. So, and I must have been about maybe 7, 8, 9 years old when this was. And so I started collecting all kinds of American superheroes, mostly Superman, Batman, and the ones that you could buy at that time. I didn't read them so much. I mostly just looked at them, looked at the pictures, and found out about some of the stories at that time. And then when I got a little older, when I was 8, 9 years old, I started. My mother, she married to another man. She divorced my husband, and then my father, and she had a child with him. She had 3 boys and 1 girl. And I was 8 8 years older, and still am 8 years older than my next brother. And when they were young, she just took those old comic books and they could play with them. So they got, I remember I had some very good ones that would have made money today. But then a little bit, I always had this urge for reading comic books. And then I learned, of course, how to read, and you can say in a way, I learned English and Danish through comic books, because one comic book was very, very popular in Iceland, and that was what you call in America was Donald Duck. Here he is in Danish. And
this is Danish ones.
This is the Danish one, you got on the left hand.
Yeah, this one is from 1978.
Yes, it's later.
It's really,
and
really old one.
Oh, I got older ones than that.
Okay.
The other one is an Icelandic.
This one is
So we had to buy those in
13.
We had to buy those in Danish in the beginning. So I bought them in Danish for many, many years. And then when they got to be in Icelandic, I bought them in your name.
Yeah, you have like 3 huge boxes of these. We have like I don't know, we have like 20 like booklet like that.
And then I got Donald Duck. I got in big boxes like this, down in the other cellar.
Yeah, there's this there's boxes like it's like 3 like this big. And it's all comics. It's all
Donald Ducks.
Donald Duck. You got their He-Man.
Well, He-Man.
Yeah, over there.
Yeah, that's just.
No, over there, under the mat.
Oh, here. Yeah, He-Man. That's just something that came later because Reynir, your brother Reynir, he got the dolls, what you call the action figures from Masters of the Universe. So I bought some of those. I didn't buy very much of them.
Yeah, I did play with the dolls afterwards.
And then later on, all my first ones are mostly in English. Then later on, I learned of these here. I had many of them, but many of them got the classic illustrated. These are classic books that have been illustrated, and they're not. I wouldn't call them. I almost wouldn't call them comics. They have. Of course, the drawn. Everything is drawn, but it's mostly. It's like pictures that are made to the stories.
It looks like it's like printed, like because it's like going like off.
Oh yeah, it's not very good.
No, it's like.
No, it isn't.
It's really like.
But it's fairly.
It looks like really.
It's fairly well drawn, and they must have had a very good people to draw and everything. But these are books that I later, some of them I read, like this one about Frankenstein, which is a classic by Mary W. Shelley. I taught this one, and this I of course read later, Don Quixote.
This is from 1946.
Yeah, that's very good.
Quite old.
I had many of them. Not everyone, but I had many. But I got very few now. I was very young when I got them, and I didn't keep them so well. It's okay, they were. Anyway, so from there on, you can say I started to collect. Of course, when you were young and we had to build our houses and everything, I didn't buy so many. This is very good.
This is from 1970.
Yeah, it's a strip that I think was made firstly in there were these books. They were made in Sweden.
Sweden.
Yeah, where they take all kinds of comic strips from papers, from newspapers, and all kinds of things, and you can have. There are many strips in this. You can see here's Eisner.
Eisner?
Yes, and he's one of my favorites. Very, very good. And
Eisner.
you know that.
Eisner is the man who made the Eisner.
No, his name is Will Eisner, and he made the Spirit.
Yeah, but he made the Spirit.
No, I think. Oh, you mean
the award?
The award. The award is named in his honor.
Ah.
I don't think that he made it.
No, okay. It's like he made it in his
but
honor.
I don't have all of these books. I have some of them. I don't know how many they were. I have some of them. These are in Danish, but I have the idea that they come from. Comic 8. I think they were made in Sweden in the beginning. This is printed in Denmark. I think the first ones were from Carlsen in Sweden. And they tell about the authors and the one who draws all kinds of things. So that's how I started. It started when I was very young.
Where's the Eisner?
Yeah, this is one of his. He is very famous.
Very famous. Very famous.
And what were you were thinking of?
I was thinking of my favorite books from France and Belgium. Just gonna go to that question. Or yeah.
What was that?
That is like Tintin.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is that when I was 17, it was the first time I went to Denmark. And after that, I've been to Denmark many times, and I've been there studying and in schools and everything. And I found out that they had many comics, and they usually had the European ones. At that time there was more of European than there was American ones. We had a little bit of American ones in Iceland, but usually in Denmark there were mostly the European ones. And that's how I began to know them. Like this here.
You have also like comics from all over.
Yeah, I have comics from, you can say, I got from many countries. Spain, I remember. I think these are from Spain here. I think he's a Spanish Morbus Grevis. I think he's a Spanish one, but I don't know.
You don't remember.
No, but this is I bought this one in Denmark. Pablo. I would have to look look it up. It's a very unique one. He's very unique. This guy, Mobus, very unique. He's got very peculiar and sex appealing art. No, it's French.
French.
So yeah, it's French. Starts in France. But maybe the artist is Spanish. I don't remember. But it has very much to do with sexuality and
aliens.
Well, in a way, aliens. Either it's aliens or it's in the girl's mind. Could be, but the story is very good. And then there's those here of Spiro and Fantasio, and from this one, the one who made this was the first two. This is Belgian, from Belgique. His name is, I don't know how to pronounce it, Frankie. And from him there have come many, there are many still, others are making it, are drawing it, and then we have, like this one, it's a sideshow called Small Ones, when they were small.
When they were young.
Tom
and Jerry.
And then Rico, he's also
Tom and Jerry, when I was young, they were like that, one of my favorite, because it's always like, but it's also like jokes about like sexuality also.
And we got all kinds of things. We got him here going on. Down the Lucky Luck.
And the Dalton. These are like really famous because these four guys, they're like the four, like one is like a little bit smaller, this is a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. These are the criminals. They're called the Dal. What was the name of these guys? They called Dalton brothers. Dalton brothers. Yeah, looking like always took them apart. But this is like the old drawer. But this is like a young, kind of new drawer, right? There's another one who draws this one and this one.
Yeah.
This is like kind of new drawer, like different.
Yeah.
It's a different
no, this is Morris, and the other one is Morris and Under.
Ah, it's another one.
And Morris, and they also made this here. Andersson.
Anderson?
Isn't his name here? No, this is Morris and Goscinny. And there are some others that are now making this one. And I was trying to find. Here's Goscinny and Andersson. And then we have him here, of Hergy.
We have here Tom and Jerry with different, like from the beginning drawers and then different.
And this is a famous European one. I don't know how to pronounce
Tintin.
it. Hergy.
This is Tintin.
So for a long time I only bought comics in Denmark, and so that's why many of them are in Danish.
Ah.
And also in a time era, this was my favorite. I don't know if you can call it comics or not.
Yeah, there are comics.
Called the Mad Magazine.
They're like joke comics.
Well, now they're more satire.
Satire?
Yeah, satire, all kinds of things going on, and mostly in the States.
And then and then always in the back you can fold.
So it was not always, but
Well, it was like that for a long time.
But here there are some of my most favorite artists, like Torres and yeah, many of them are here. These are newer ones I have here, and of course.
What is your purpose of your comic collection?
Well, I think it's just mostly because I like it. Mostly because I like it when the pictures make a story, and the ones that I love the most are something like this, like Aragonés.
I like this one a lot.
Yeah, Aragonés is very good. He can say in a one drawing many things. He's very good. I love
this
him.
one a lot.
I love him. I also got some books.
Because like he also draws like in between.
Yeah.
In between the drawings, kind of like
in
that.
between and all kinds of small things and everything. He's very good. I like him. These are one of the younger ones I have here. One of the newer ones. Now the latest years, now when I got older, I have stopped buying, some time ago, stopped buying much of it, but I'm still buying some. Like this one. This has been my favorite from some year, but he has now stopped making this. Bill Willingham, he made this from Fables, called Fables, and he's very good. And the thing is that since I was very young, I've always loved folk stories and fairy tales and everything, and he uses that world into these comics. These are comic comic books, which they take about 5 or 6 or 7 together in a book. And he had, and of this one Fables, he had 2 spin-offs, Jack of the Fables, and another one I haven't here, which is about the girls in the book, so very good.
Fables.
We were talking about, before we started, about books like superheroes.
Yeah.
I have some superheroes. I have Superman, and I have, but they have never interested me very much. I am more into people like Batman, because I understand better how he can function, instead of a Superman who can do everything and has a power that well, you can't even explain how it is. So that's why I don't have many of superheroes, but Batman I have, and Batman, and I also like Iron Man. And the latest years I've been collecting things like these here.
Yeah, like heavy, heavy stories.
Heavy stories where I think that the thing is that there's something that have changed in the comic book story making, where instead of what is said, and when the story is not only told by what everybody's saying or some explanations, it's more pictures. The pictures tell you the story. It's, I think it's more like when you're looking at a movie, like these here. These are very, very good.
Yeah, I like these one a lot.
These are very good.
DMC.
Yeah, I have them all.
Really good.
And these here now, I'm collecting these here called Chew. These are very good also. And the ones that I'm very fond of now is this one here. Saga.
Yeah, it's really like this different.
Yeah, I like them.
Different characters, like there's some weird characters going on in here.
Yeah, it's not. But the thing is that what I like mostly it's not always the drawings. Well, if the drawings are good and they feel that the drawings and the storyline, they accomplish each other, they help each other, then it's okay with me. It doesn't have to be the finest drawing. It could also be. It's mostly if they make a good union. But the thing is that you learn. Well, I think I have learned through the years that all these stories that are told are always almost the same stories. But it's the way they are told and what's put into them. That's good.
Yeah, the thing about like me, I like your comics because I like the pictures. I didn't read them that much when I was young, but like here, like this DMC, I'm a graffiti writer, and I actually painted one of my actually the best wall I actually did paint is the background of the piece is actually from this book. Not from this book, but from the DMC. It's like burning. I made a burning city, and and that is actually from this DMC guy.
He's very good.
And then I also
very good.
I also painted from heavy metal. Got kind of like heavy metal. They are. They got.
Yeah, that's a good magazine. But I bought some of them just because sometimes they run somebody, and then you can buy those stories later in books. Either those stories or stories from the same author. And like this one here. These here are very good.
I really like these ones. This is also heavy metal.
Yeah.
And there's like a whole these are all the covers of the books, and then it goes through one line. You can put them in a whole line, and you got all the whole books. You got all the.
Comes like this.
Yeah. Like these are like a number 5 and a 6, and then you can put them together, and then you can see a line.
Here comes number 4.
So, and you can see like a line of pictures. It's kind of cool.
You can see them here.
But the seventh one is the last book of this series. It's not.
Seventh?
Yeah, there's the seventh one.
Why don't I have it?
It's downstairs.
Do I have it?
Yeah, it's downstairs. You have it.
Oh, it's downstairs, okay.
And I just didn't take it because it's not in the line. It's like they made the line of the books, and there's another one.
Okay.
It comes.
Oh.
It was like not in this line. It's really funny.
Well, what were we thinking about more? Well, and I like also to buy some things that maybe or have that are not even though it's not, it's just for my curiosity mostly. This I got for Christmas from the brother.
Yeah,
and
the cats.
yeah, I always like to buy something that's different and just to study it and look at it and see how people are doing.
Yeah, this is like people looks like cats.
And I've always loved something going on in space, as you know. I love Star Wars and Star Trek and all kinds of things, like this one.
This one, yeah.
It's
You
very
have the
good.
whole series on
Lyngdal
this
and
one.
Valentine. Yeah,
People in space.
there's something going on. So,
These are from 91.
yeah.
Do you collect something else?
Do I collect something else than comic books?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not. The only things I'm collecting right now are Chew, Saga, well, Chew and Saga because papers are out. Well, through the years I have some small collections of books mostly. I have, well, not so many, but I've got some of fairy tales, folk tales, or what do you call them? Something that's telling about histories, all kinds of things. Sometimes I have found out maybe one man that we have this man had this man, he was a journalist, and he also made some books about all kinds of things in Iceland. Árni Óla, his name is. I think I have all his books. And then one time I got very excited in Faroe Island author, William Reynirsson. I think he's very good, was very good. He wrote in Danish though, even though he's from the Faroe Island, but he was very good. So I have some mini collections, mostly of books. Yeah, it's usually something about my collections. I usually have something about written things, written or drawn or something.
What?
And there's one right now that I love. She has made 3 books, and oh, she's not here. I think she's in there now. Lóa. En hérna, Kristín var sko hana.
Hérna metal.
Take it.
You see it.
Oh. Did she take it with her? Oh.
Lóa. Oh yeah, I
not in the, over there.
No, I don't know.
No, I hope she didn't take it with her.
This is like.
This is a very good one, metal. It's about northern.
Northern Vikings.
Northlanders, it's called. It's very good, very well drawn and very well told. It's a very good one.
Which comics do you care most about?
Right now,
Yes.
I don't know. I care about them all.
Yeah.
They're so different. It's so hard to take any and say I care about this more than something else. It doesn't matter. If I care about them, I care about them all. I think they're all good. Some are not as good as the other, but it's always fun to come back to them and see them. Where is Lóa? Oh, well, okay, anyway. Lóa Hjálmtýsdóttir. Lóa bara...
Yeah, I saw it. It's over here.
Laboratorium. Lóa Laboratorium. Lóa Laboratorium. I can't say it. She's made 3 books and I have them, of course, all 3. And she draws in one of the weekly papers. And it's, I think, the only paper I really look forward to seeing every week. It's very good.
Yes, thank you.
Oh,
I think.
are we finished?
Yeah, we have got.
You were talking about the other day of if I liked having naked people.
Yeah, that's the last question.
Yeah.
Do you like to have the naked people in your...
naked people.
Or nudity?
Nudity. Well, I think it doesn't, it's okay. I mean, it's not that I think that it should always be, but I think it's okay if it is. If you take Jack here, you can see he's a ladies' man, and so why not show him in bed? If that is a thing about his character and how he operates and everything, so why not? I don't see anything against it.
Yeah,
and I think it's very stupid to not show naked people, even their genitals, just because somebody could be offended. I don't understand why you should be. Why you should be offended. Here we have some naked people, but the thing is about these naked people, they try very hard not to show, even show breasts.
And then it's like in heavy metal, you can see.
Oh, yeah, yes, they have it, and in these books here.
This is Jack Fabulous.
Morbus, he's.
This is heavy metal. They got sometimes nudity in it, and they're not. There's some. This comes. But in these one, you're like.
This is. Some people would.
Go crazy.
Well, would call this pornography, but then they're just looking at
directly,
pictures.
Yeah, directly at
They're not looking at or reading the script. Of course, this is about the female character. Everything about it is sexual, and everything is, and the whole story. It's some many books, and so no, I don't have any. if it helps, if it's
helps the story.
Helps the story and is in the story and is one of the...
Here's like a whole sex scene.
Yeah. But you have to read... But it's...
Yeah, you have to read the story before you can get...
Yeah, you have to understand the story, understand the characters and everything before you judge it.
Here's like naked people get killed.
Yeah.
It's really brutal.
It is. It's. But he's a very good artist. Very good. It's very well drawn. Everything in it is very well done. As in most of the others. Very well drawn.
I like these ones. So well drawn. These ones.
Very well done.
Metal.
Hey.
Yes. Thank you for the interview.
Yeah.
We went through all the questions, though. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. This was Mr. Awkward. Yes. Thank you very much. Bye.